Hello and welcome to the Scarlet Scoop, a show where we're talking all things college. I'm your host, Chelsea Spears. Well, it seems Ohio State's late-night eating habits have earned it some national recognition. Grubhub, a food ordering app, recently released a study of college eating habits across the country. What they found? Well, let's just say Ohio State students might have a collective case of the midnight munchies. Lantern TV reporter Tessa DeTiro shows us what the study found. Tessa?
Ohio State was ranked number 5 in the country for most late-night campus diners. I toured OSU to get a taste of what it is that students love.
Late-night eating, a norm for college kids, and according to Grubhub, OSU is one of the best campuses to feed your late-night cravings.
Probably Waffle House. Their hours are just great, and I can eat there whenever I want.
A little later, maybe Chipotle or Bakersfield down in Short North. I really like that a lot. Their tacos are super good and can't go wrong.
If we're looking for healthy places, we could think about Subway.
I have to go with the Waffle House. It's a favorite of mine.
Late night slice, probably my favorite place to eat.
Buckeye Donuts.
But late night isn't the only time people enjoy eating out, and students say you can't go wrong on campus either.
On campus would probably be Sloopy's. Everybody's just really friendly there, and it's kind of like a sit-down restaurant, unlike everywhere else on campus.
Student dining is really good, actually, but now that I don't live on campus, I mostly eat off campus.
Eating out does get expensive, and typical students are usually watching their budgets. However, they say there are some exceptions.
On campus, it's hard to find cheap things, especially I don't have a meal plan and I commute, so it's cheaper to eat off campus for me than it is on.
I definitely think price is a consideration. I'm not going to go to those places every day probably, but I definitely look at that when I'm choosing where I'm going to eat.
It depends how much I want food. If I'm super hungry, then I don't really care, but usually it's a factor, yeah.
If it's really good food, I like things that have a lot of flavor and are not boring, so if it's really good, then I'll pay the price for it, but I'm not going to pay any more money for something that's just as good as something I can get for a cheaper price.
Some other OSU late-night spots that weren't mentioned include Raising Cane's and Jimmy John's. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Tessa. Well, does the name Jeremy ring a bell? A year ago this week, a group of Ohio State students discovered a strange man had been living in a room in their basement for months without anyone knowing. His name was Jeremy. Take a look at part of the original story.
Down 2 flights of stairs in their basement, they found a door. They tried opening it, but it was locked.
Behind the locked door, there was some weird noises like dings and alarms and stuff.
When their realtor finally opened the door, what they found shocked everyone. A bedroom that someone else had been living in.
No, what? Like, you gotta be kidding me.
This year, I caught up with the current tenants of the infamous stranger in the basement house. All of the old tenants have moved out, and a new group of guys have moved in. They said they tend to stay away from the basement because it's just too creepy. They said when they signed their lease, they'd seen the story but had no idea it was the same house. They say they've left Jeremy's old room untouched. This picture of the room was snapped on Wednesday, and you can see it's almost empty. One of the current tenants might have put it best when he said, quote, "It's just creepy." To check out the full story, go to thelantern.com and click campus. You might have seen them around campus, and now that it's football season, they're out in full swing. Tessa DeTiro talked with some Columbus Police Bike Patrol officers who are out on the streets keeping you safe.
Officer DeWitt and Officer Billman both serve as bike cops for the Columbus Police Department. One of the reasons they say they love their job, they enjoy working on a more personal level with the community.
A lot of times we're in positions with the public, between houses, in front of bars, monitoring traffic and whatnot, so people feel like they need to come up and talk to us a little bit more.
We get a lot of people that just want to walk up and talk to you about everything, sports scores or what you did last night.
The officers say their role on bikes actually helps them remain more in tune with their surroundings.
I think we're more accessible to the public. They view us as more approachable because we're on bikes versus cruisers.
I'm closer to it. I can hear things that are going on that people in cars can't.
We'll come up on people and see if they notice us. A lot of times they won't notice them, so we're right on top of them and they'll be startled. We'll kind of explain to them at that point in time, like, look, be more aware, get off your phone, get off your headphones.
After bike cops recently rescued a woman being assaulted on campus, the question on all students' minds is how will bike cops work to keep us safe?
There's so many vacant areas, vacant garages, open garages. We just try to monitor, more often.
But they can't be everywhere at once. Here are some safety tips all students should observe.
Stay off your phones. A lot of people are latched on that cell phone and staring at it, texting. Avoid, dark areas, stay in lit areas, stay together.
Walk with friends and stay in lit areas.
I'm Tessa DeTiro reporting for Lantern TV.
And on that note, stay safe this weekend, Buckeyes. Thanks for watching the Scarlet Scoop. We'll see you next week.